a lot of people think that in order to start a business, they should not do it because it's just a very lengthy process. They don't have any support, or they don't know how to market the solution, even if they make it. So the thing is that if you just start and just make the first prototype or the first product, there will be thousands of people who would want to help you. And I think Steve Jobs has also had a quote on this that uh, he never met anyone in his life who refused to help him. So if you seek for it, there will not be a single person who will refuse to help you, especially because you're doing a good work.
Let's get started with very famous quote of Sir Albert Einstein. Quote unquote, in the midst of every crisis lies great opportunity. There is no question that we are in the midst of global crisis. Not only we are seeing loss of life and ill health, the worldwide effort to slow the families and the businesses. There is no doubt that crisis creates problem, lots of them, but it also creates an opportunity. Hello and welcome to the Honest Talk by Freak Folks. I'm Harsh Pandey. For this particular session, Mr. Akshat Mittal sir will be joining us, who is here with us. He is a serial entrepreneur who launched his first venture at the age of 13, oddevent.com. A car portal was launched in the December 2015 to tackle the problem of finding commute partners during the odd event trial in Delhi. In June 2020, Mr. Akshat developed a portal called Bharat Shramik that helped in connecting blue collar and migrant workers with the suitable employees according to their location and promote meaningful employments. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, he's a very dynamic and very interesting personality. So, first of all, sir, I welcome you to in this session. Thank you so much for joining and agreeing to share your thoughts with us.
Thanks a lot. The pleasure is all mine.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm looking forward to this very exciting conversation with you. Sir, my very first question to you is what was your key driving force to become an entrepreneur?
So when I was 13 years old, I attended a workshop by the Indus entrepreneurs, and I realized that jobs and all pursuits are pretty good, but entrepreneurship was one thing that I was really drawn towards. And I thought, and I saw so many problems around me in my environment. Some people were begging on the streets. There were no electricity in areas, pollution, and I felt that as a member of this society, what can I do to actually try to improve that situation? And once I launched oddevent.com, which was my first venture, luckily I got a pretty good response, massive response. And that happiness, that satisfaction was one of my key driving forces to actually continue on this journey of entrepreneurship. Because after oddevent.com, which was around 2 to 3 months, so it took the entire process for 2 to 3 months, and then it got acquired. And after that, also, I continued in this journey and attended a lot of workshops, gave speeches, and also launched a couple of other ventures, which is pretty satisfying because when you see positive change happening because of your actions, that gives you a lot of happiness. So yeah.
Indeed, sir, it was really very inspiring, and I believe that the viewers those who are watching, they are surely going to find this insightful as well as inspiring. Sir, what I have seen is that both of your ventures are very much inspired from the social problems. So my question to you is, how did the idea for these your ventures or say businesses come about?
So as I mentioned earlier, there are like thousands of problems happening around you right now. It's just that you have to look at the right place, look at from the right perspective. So so the most recent venture of mine, which is Bharat Shramik, um, during the COVID crisis, we were like sitting under the air conditioners of our home, and we were comfortable. We were just thinking of the next virtual game to play with our friends. But at the same time, in the 45 degrees Celsius heat of India, there were millions of other migrant workers who were actually, they had all of their belongings on their head, all of the suitcases, pregnant women actually walking thousands of kilometers just to go back to their home places. Now, I did not meet any of these workers. This is all the information I gained from the news channels, and a lot of my personal friends who went to the border and gave me a picture of what the situation was like. So I was just thinking that, where I am here, worrying about the next game to play, they are worrying about whether they will reach alive to their homes or not. And after that, the bigger problem will be to actually continue their work, because these people, they don't have many savings. We have savings to fall back on, but they they buy their food every a single daily wage at a time. So it was a huge problem for them, and that's when I realized that this can be an opportunity to launch a venture where we can connect these workers with suitable employment opportunities in their area. Because not only the workers were the ones who will be facing problems, but also, if you imagine, after the lockdown was released, after there was Unlock 1.0, the companies are also facing a shortage of workers to actually whole shuffling of the skill map of India, and that's why this was definitely a great helping force for the workers and the companies. So, like, the bigger perspective, the main point is that there are a lot of problems happening around you, and a lot of people just think about the problem and just see the problem and say that, someone else will try to solve it. Maybe in the next 5 years the government will release grants for these people, but nothing will happen if you don't take the first step. At least you can try to do that, and who knows, in the process you learn a lot.
Indeed, sir. Sir, my next question to you is actually this is question. I think this is a very tough job because when you bring something, then it is very hard to reach the people those who actually require this kind of thing. So my question to you is how actually you have means marketed your business and about your venture, and how actually you told about the people that we have this kind of platform, and what tactics have been most successful.
So luckily for me, I mean, I won't say luck, but for me, I had the right approach about reaching towards the migrant workers. So I was grateful enough for the radio programs and all the other news media channels who, and also regional distributed newspapers who helped in spreading the word about the Bharat Shramik helpline number. And so if you know about this, in the worker community there are a lot of small communities, smaller groups, and it's not like an individual worker is going to a workplace. All the construction groups, all the carpenters, they live as a community, so there's generally one leader among all the communities. So we try to market it directly to them. We try to contact them and try to get all their workers registered, and that was one of the main marketing pathways through which we got a lot of worker registration. And then about the employers, again through news media and through personal connections, we got a lot of employers. I'd also like to point out here that I also had help from a lot of mentors, a lot of friends, and a lot of people who were already well connected with associations like Nardico and Credai, which are great for such a venture. So a lot of people think that in order to start a business, they should not do it because it's just a very lengthy process. They don't have any support, or they don't know how to market the solution, even if they make it. So the thing is that if you just start and just make the first prototype or the first product, there will be thousands of people who would want to help you. And I think Steve Jobs has also had a quote on this, that uh, he never met anyone in his life who refused to help him. So if you seek for it, there will not be a single person who will refuse to help you, especially because you're doing a good work.
This is a very great message, and I think the viewers those who are watching, they are surely going to find us very inspiring answer. Sir, my next question to you is, or rather say, I would like to tell my viewers that he's a student also, like many of us. So my question to you is, how do you manage your studies and with these entrepreneurship ventures?
Harish, your voice is breaking up. Can you
Uh,
please repeat the question?
sure, sure. Sir, actually, my question to you is how do you manage your studies with these ventures?
So this is a great question because a lot of students and a lot of high schoolers actually want to make change, actually want to be change makers, but they don't know how to divide their time. So what I would like to say is that if you consider your business or your venture as just a separate part of your life, that's a wrong approach because at the end of the day, you're going to learn so many things from your startup, from your social venture. You're going to gain practical knowledge that will actually help you in life. So you have to prioritize each of the things. And then also, I also used to have this question a lot and face a lot of problems about prioritizing. And then people used to tell me that uh, the human brain is kind of programmed in such a way that you will be best at thinking of innovative ideas or like coding or marketing at a certain point of the day, and you'll be best at studying at another point of the day. So for example, with me, it's I'm really good at studying and learning concepts during the night time, and my brain is simulated to create ideas and to implement them in the day. So I divide my day according to when um, that particular task is going to be the best of my abilities, and that's how I plan my schedule. But otherwise, the thing boils down to how you prioritize things, and that's something very important that everyone should put into perspective.
Indeed, sir. I think you have already covered, but I'm very much curious to actually ask you or know this. Sir, could you please describe, outline your typical day? It's a kind of request to you, sir, please.
So when I used to be more hands-on on Bharat Shramik, so currently I am also we have tried to create Bharat Shramik as self-sustainable as possible, so that it's an entire mechanism on its own and requires less work power. But when I was starting up, I was mostly all in for Bharat Shramik, and from I guess my first breath, like when I used to wake up, I used to work on it and till the night, and just that was when my school was also over. So it was mostly about Bharat Shramik, and then I used to do some like educational videos for fun and for hobbies. But during my school time, I think my day used to be like after school, I used to do my homework for a couple hours, and then in the evening, I used to code a lot for audible.com and change my India specifically. So yeah, that was pretty much it. And then I used to go in the evenings to play or something like that.
That's really good. Sir, my next question to you is, or actually, I'm very much curious to know what motivates you.
What motivates me? That's a great question. I don't think any entrepreneur, any person in the world can actually answer it accurately. But um, I think what motivates me is knowing at the end of the day that my efforts are actually creating a difference in lives of people, and that I am also learning from it. Because it has to be two ways. I don't think any person in the world will just do something selflessly. At the end of the day, you also learn a lot. Um, and there's this thing called social entrepreneurship, which is not just about donation, it's also about earning meaningful money. So yeah, I mean, there can be different motivations for different people, but I think that satisfaction factor is the motivation for me.
All right, sir. Sir, one question which also comes here is that what is your greatest fear and how do you manage fear? Because it is, I think, more important than motivation.
So my greatest fear in life is being in a state where I cannot think properly or think creatively, and where I'm not able to implement ideas that I think. And a difficult thing that almost all entrepreneurs face, at least I face a lot, is to initially build a team of passionate people. Because considering we are a social venture, we don't have funding in the beginning. It's difficult to keep everyone motivated so that they also believe as much in the idea as you. Um, and to keep that team and keep going forward is the most difficult part of it. If you have a good team, then half of your work in the venture is done, because instead of one thinking mind there will be 10 thinking minds. But if you have a bad team, that one thinking mind will also be reduced to half a thinking mind, because half of your time will go towards team management. So that is a fear or like a difficult part that happens. Yeah.
It's a very meaningful and perhaps the great message from your side. So my next question to you is, how do you define success?
um, I think success is like, for everyone is their own construct. Some people define it by the amount of profit that they make, or by the amount of total impact they create in the lives of people. But I think success is, if you feel happy about it, even if it's selling momos on the street, if you're able to do it properly, if you're able to learn regularly from it, then I think in your mind you're successful. And like I gave the example of a momo seller, which was given to me by my elder brother, and he once told, I still remember, he once told me that, you can be Bill Gates, or someone else, but always remember to be the best in your field. Even if you sell momos on the street, if you're the best at it, you'll end up being very rich or very satisfied in your life. Not that rich and satisfaction are analogous to each other, but like the general constructs of success as different people define it. So yeah, so if you're best in your field, if you're passionate about it, you'll be successful eventually.
Indeed, sir. Again, it was a quite inspiring, and I think the viewers, not only I think, but I do strongly believe that the viewers and mostly the young people, those who are watching, they are surely going to find us insightful. Sir, my next question to you is: do you believe there is something sort of pattern or formula to become a successful entrepreneur?
The only step is to just start, because I think around 80-90% of the people have brilliant ideas, but they think that someone must have done it before, which is not true, which might not be true. And or they think that, how will I manage my time, how will I just start, how will I build a team. But the day you decide to take the first step, the day you decide to start working on your product or your website, or anything else, is the day that you will realize that it's a flow. If you start working on it, everything will go in your way. If not, you'll have to make it go in your way, because when you're all in, you think, I have to do it, because if not, I don't know what I will. So for example, with Bharat Shramik, the main reason I think it actually happened that I started. So in June, I thought of the idea in, I guess around 9th or 10th June. And within a couple of days, I started working on it, did some research, and within a week, the website was ready. And 3 days later, the helpline number was set up, which is a good speed for a business that's starting. Your product is ready in 10 days. So if you do that, I think the rest of the things will be easy. And I think you should not wait for external help, but just start doing. If even if you don't have a social media person or a marketing person or a product guy, just learn in the process and just try to do those things yourself.
All right, sir. I think it's a kind of privilege today we got to hear all those things from you, usual. Sir, my next question to you is: what is your favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur?
Just the high you get from doing something exciting every day. You don't know what the next day will be. You'll face different problems every day. But I think during Bharat Shramik as well, we face so many problems related to the product, related to the helpline number. But again, we had a team which was willing to go all in, which was passionate enough. And just seeing other people share your vision in your idea, that's something that's the great part about entrepreneurship. For example, let me ask you, when you started this YouTube channel, Freak Folks, what was your driving factor, or what kept you excited?
Actually, it was started to bring the people those who are very much busy, but people want to listen them. Actually, people don't get usually these kind of platforms where they actually listen these people. They listen their success stories like yours. So we have created with this idea, and that's all.
Yeah, so that's great, because you also get to learn a lot throughout this journey. So
Correct.
for example, I saw your YouTube channel, and there are so many big people there, and I'm sure you learned a lot along the journey as well. Talking to 20, 30 people throughout the journey, there's something that must have changed and changed your outlook on life. So I think that's a great thing that kept you moving forward as well. So yeah, it's like you have to find your own reason for doing it. If you don't have a reason, then maybe you should not be doing it.
Correct, sir. Sir, my next question to you is what are your ideals?
What are
Your ideals.
my ideals? I think as long as you're honest to yourself and to the idea you're working on, you're good to go. For example, during oddeven.com, there were a lot. I was a child. I was 13 years old, and a lot of people used to think that it's not that it's not he who did it, or he had a lot of external help, and that's why maybe they could not do it. But as long as you know that you did it, as long as you know that that particular idea helped people, or at the end of the day you were satisfied, then I think you're good to go. And I also believe that passion is everything. And a lot of people told me, especially my father, that अगर तुम इसमें बिल्कुल पागलों की तरह नहीं काम कर रहे, या फिर if you're not crazy about that idea, then probably you should not waste your time on it. If you believe on it, if you believe in the idea, you'll probably succeed.
Indeed, sir. Sir, my next question to you is what has been your most satisfying moment in this Bharat Summit as well as in previous one, oddevent.com?
So for Bharat Shramik, I remember I got we had a lot of registrations from workers, and one of my teammates told me this story. So he was actually looking for um, a housemaid himself, and when he called someone in his area, she answered saying, "Yeah, हाँ भैया, हमारी नौकरी already लग चुकी है." And when he asked, क्या आपकी भारत श्रमिक के थ्रू लगी है? She said, yeah, हाँ भैया, भारत श्रमिक के थ्रू ही किसी का कॉल आया था. And that was probably one of our first success stories, and that was the moment I realized that yes, Bharat Shramik is making a difference in people's lives. This was one of the motivating factors as well. For audible.com as well, there were hundreds of emails that I got thanking me that they found not just a carpool partner to go from their home to the workplace, but also a friend, because in a time when there was so much pollution, there was so much depression, mental anxiety, there were a lot of people who were just feeling alone, and this gave them a chance to meet new people. So yeah, these were two of the moments when it was really great knowing that I actually implemented those ideas.
All right, sir. I can say there's a lot more to learn from you, but today I don't want to take too much of your time. So, moving to my last question of this session, sir, if you have one piece of advice, what would you like to give to all the students who are in their schools, who are in their colleges, how they can actually create change in their own individual level to make this society a better place?
So, one thing I would like to tell everyone is that if you think about something, just don't leave it there. Even if you think about a very cliched idea, which is being done by a lot of people, don't stop there. Just try to implement it. Who knows? In the journey, you'll find something innovative, and that can be your idea, your great eureka moment. Because a lot of people, a lot of big celebrities, big people, big entrepreneurs always say that what LinkedIn is right now, what Facebook is right now, it was not what the founders thought on the first day. It's just a process, and if you start the process, you'll probably fail a lot. You'll fail more times than you will probably have those moments of success, but you'll learn a lot as well. And from those failures, you'll probably learn life lessons that will help you move forward, and that will also push your own entrepreneurial journey forward. And that's why um, it's really important to start and work passionately. Just don't think about anything else, because at the end of the day, there will be a lot of other things that will probably attract you in the present, because like there's always an opportunity cost to starting your own business. I'm It's probably childish, but I'll be missing on my daily badminton games, for example. I'll be missing on my daily PUBG games, for example, with people. But at the end of the day, you have to prioritize, and you have to realize that working on your business not only benefits you, but thousands of others probably. And that's the entire chain that you actually started, and that should be motivation enough for you to actually keep working on it.
All right, so it was again a very motivating answer from your side, and I must say, trust me, sir, it was one of the most inspiring conversation I have ever had on personal level. Thank you so much, sir, for joining and giving your important time. We look forward to conduct more such sessions with you in the future. Thank you so much, sir, for joining.
Thanks a lot, Harsh, and thank you for your patience. So many months where I could not join, or where you were busy sometimes. But thanks a lot for having this session. It was really good,
Thank you.
and I learned a lot from you and your journey about Freak Folks as well.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks a
On the
lot.
ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone.